What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Ghouls Gaming and Tech channel. We have another case video right here for you guys for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, because there's plenty of cases that are actually pretty good for this phone. Now, it's not too often that I find a bunch of good cases for one phone in particular, but for some reason every company wanted to put their best foot forward to make a pretty good case for this phone. So this video is no different. We're going to talk about that really quick. If you guys are new to the channel and you don't know, I like to keep this video short and sweet to get you guys from point A to point B as quick as possible without wasting you guys time, because you're important and I know you have things to do. And at the end of the day, this is just a case. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's definitely appreciated. And if you're new or returning, make sure to hit that like button. It's appreciated as well. And also become a member if you would like. Now, the case we have right here, this is the Aulumu A17 Vegan Leather case. Aulumu is a pretty good brand. So where you can find this bad boy, you can find this on Amazon. The link will be in the description below. The price on this is $49.98. Usually any vegan leather case or even a leather case is going to be a little bit higher than in any standard case, whether it be standard plastic or silicone. So I'm not surprised by the price. So it is what it is. Link will be in the description below. Next thing on the list are the cutouts and the buttons. So let's take a look. You have a pretty sizable cutout right here for your camera modules. Same for right here for your sensor, flash, and all that good stuff. You have some aesthetic cutouts right here. You have some little markers right here just to let you know where the volume, I believe that's the volume. Yeah, the volume up and down rockers are right there. And speaking of those, here are some buttons for those. And then you have your action button right here for whatever you want to set it as. Again, more aesthetics right here. You have some Aulumu branding. And then you have your camera cutout. It's not necessarily a cutout and it's not necessarily a button. So it's kind of hard to describe it, but that's where your camera cutout is. Then you have your power / Siri / Apple Intelligence. Nothing on the top, and then on the bottom you have a cutout for your charging port and your speaker grills. All right, next thing on the list is the feel in the grip. How does this bad boy feel? With this getting wet, this is not like a typical standard like brown leather or vegan leather. So usually with any kind of leather with wear and tear, it usually looks cooler over time. Well, this one's white, so I don't know how well that's gonna hold up as far as you constantly getting like mud, rain, whatever, it rubbing against your jeans and maybe some of the coloring of your jeans rubbing off on here. I don't think it'll start to look cooler over time. This is a white color, so I would imagine it's going to absorb any other color that gets meshed into it. Feels like leather, like any other kind of phone. Obviously you can feel, or not phone, but any other kind of leather. This is little to no wiggle and it's pretty stiff, so you can feel the actual hard plastic inside. You have that Aulumu branding right here, and with this MagSafe ring, which we'll get to in a second. Your grips on the side feels pretty solid. Like as I rub my finger on, I can feel more texture of the vegan leather, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna slip out. All right, next thing on the list is the fit and protection. Now I cannot talk about that without throwing this bad boy on, so let's put this on really quick. I know you guys like my Grand Theft Auto 6 wallpaper, but yeah, fit and protection. As you can see right here, the fit is super precise. All the cutouts for the camera, flash, all that good stuff, ample amount of space. Doesn't feel like it's overcrowded at all. Let's check this camera control. Boom, there you have it. Boom, there we go, and that works as well. Cutouts for this stuff down here seems super precise. No overlapping or anything hidden because the case is too big. And then obviously your volume up and down, as you can see, it's responding on the screen. And then you have your action button, which I have it for translate, which you can see it activates pretty quick. You have all around protection. That camera plateau is pretty much covered almost all the way, but the camera plateau is raised higher than the actual camera modules, so there is protection there. So even though it's not 100% covered, with this being covered for the most part, and then this being raised slightly higher than the camera modules, you're protected all around. Obviously, four corners are protected. All right, next thing on the list is wireless charging and MagSafe. Now, obviously, earlier you saw the wireless charging or the MagSafe ring in here. Have a charger right here, so let's just make sure this works. Boom, it sticks. As you can see, it charges. So wireless charging and MagSafe works. So let's give it a little shake test to see how strong this magnet is. It's holding up pretty well, so I'm shaking it with a decent amount of force and it's holding on. I've had some cases where the magnet will stick initially, but as soon as you start shaking it, it'll pop right off. So it doesn't seem to be the issue with this one. The next thing on the list is drop resistance and reliability. So from what this kind of goes into durability a little bit as well, but from what I've experienced, I've had this case for maybe 3 weeks now, maybe a month, I'm not sure. But from what I've seen, I've had some other white cases or even clear cases that start to yellow over time. This has not happened. I also had a Spigen case that it was clear, but it literally started to yellow after like maybe 4 or 5 days. I was in the mountains and wasn't doing anything crazy with it, just putting the phone in my pocket, using it like normal, and it started to yellow after about 4 or 5 days. So that was not a good sign. But this one I've had for about 3 weeks, maybe a month, and no yellowing, no tearing, no anything like that. It's pretty durable. And when I drop this phone, the case doesn't just pop off. So it takes a decent amount of friction to kind of pull these corners off. So when your phone does drop with this case on it, you won't have to worry about any of these corners like popping off and having your phone exposed and it sustaining any of that damage. This case is pretty snug on it, and it's actually very reliable because I drop it many times and it will do the same thing many times. It will protect and it will not pop off. It wasn't like a maybe 1 out of 10 times where it popped off. Nope, it stays secure every time. So it's very reliable and is very resistant to drops. I know it may not seem like it because it doesn't have overt shock-proof like corners right here, but anytime I drop it, I'm never worried about my screen cracking or anything like that. This case seems to do a good job of absorbing any kind of impact. So that's a great thing as well. All right, last thing on the list is what I call edge control. Now, what does that mean? Basically, any case you get, I like to swipe my finger left, right, up, and down just to see if I feel any type of resistance or friction. If I do, that means the edge control or the edge of the case is actually raised slightly higher than the display itself. So in actuality, that means that, and you guys can probably tell from camera, you can see that the case is raised higher than the display. But what that means is if your case lands face down, which is important because that's how most phones land nowadays, they pretty much land on their back or on the front, but mainly the front. That means your case will be the first thing that hits that structure. It's going to take the brunt of that impact, but your display itself won't actually make contact first. It will be your case. So this one has pretty good edge control. Like my finger stops at all points. So if it drops like this, I won't be worried. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'll keep these videos short and sweet. I do not want to bore you guys. We'll have some more cases coming up soon. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.